Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
When I die, write me up like a murder victim in a true crime documentary. Show my best sides, my smile, my winning personality. Tell them how I always saw the best in people. Describe my life in snapshots and interviews with people who did not really know me but agreed to participate for the money. When I die, get some young actress to play me for the biography or the reenactment. A 20-year-old who can cry on demand. Make sure she has all of my best features: big titties, flawless skin, curly, weather-perfect hair. Make the script robust and dramatic with perfect lighting and an excellent soundtrack. Make it a 4-part docuseries on Disney HBO Cinemax. When I die, say all the requisite cliches. Tell them I was taken too soon and no longer suffering and in a much better place now. Do not ruin my legacy with the truth. Don't tell them how I hated Trump and questioned Christianity. Omit my addictions and bad choices in men. Someone should probably throw away my poems, in which I questioned the government and called out racist white people. Matter of fact, delete all my social media and YouTube recordings. Use the life insurance money to pay off my exes to keep my secrets for themselves. Then cremate me. Mix my ashes with confetti and glitter. Throw a huge house party on a yacht. Toss me in the deepest ocean at midnight because I am both sparkly and profound. And party on. Tell them all the funny stories. Pay a comedian to give my eulogy. I want my joy to be my legacy. Do not let them cry for me. I would rather be remembered as a bad but perpetually hilarious joke than anybody's sad and regretful memory. I was worried about what you would think, so I carefully crafted the image of myself in the mirror this morning to your standards, pressed and sprayed my kinky coils, binded my belly in latex and Velcro, folded and tucked my generational trauma, covered my face in every color but my own, lashes and lace fronts sold separately, self-esteem not included. Your opinion being of utmost importance to me and how I look in public, because I always want to impress you. You, the checker in bathroom hallways for the legendary man in a dress. You, who judge if someone looks handicapped enough as they make their way from that space. You, the caller of managers and police overseers whenever someone forgets their place. You are there to remind me that it is all about race unless I say so, because then I'd be playing some type of card that apparently only I hold. But I should not say anything at all when you are speaking. Speak only English when you are in earshot. Never speak about white people or injustice or trans lives or genocide or have a differing opinion, lest you might be offended. Let me remember that you are the American default, represented by the white stripes on the flag. The bloody red ones, of course, representing the rest of us. The stars being the ones in heaven, purported by the book you have read, to oppress all non-white, non-male, non-Jews. You being a euphemism for heterosexual American, for normal human being, for most privileged person. Most served, most heard, most days, I just stay home. Takes a lot of energy sometimes to be seen as both Black and not a predator, both a woman and not prey. It takes a lot of energy to be seen at all. It is safer most times to make myself invisible to you, to not cause any trouble, that is, stand up for myself, to keep myself smaller than my shadow, because you are notoriously moody and unpredictable. You are fickle and prone to deadly outbursts at times. So as much as I would like to be indifferent to what anyone thinks of me, I find myself begrudgingly invested in what you think of me, because I like to spend the majority of all my time staying alive. I am 3,500 miles away having hot flashes in air-conditioned rooms, getting over you. It is not as hard as I thought. Surviving never is from the outside, out of love, out of the drowning pool, out of the pits of despair. The imp sneaks up behind me and sets my hair on fire. I break into a sweat and slowly count down from 100, the length of another personal summer, one season at a time. Yours was winter, icy dark and relentless. Your laughter was barbed hook projectiles, intentionally pointed and painful. Your smile is existent as December Alaska sun. I am suddenly room temperature again. The temperature of the room is 56 degrees. I shrug on my sweater. I never quite know the actual weather. Hot flashes are caused by a confused hypothalamus. When my internal thermostat thinks I am too warm, it turns up the heater to cool me down. It is counterintuitive and masochistic, much like my attitude toward relationships. Maybe my body, like you, will get bored with torturing me, or maybe I will soon stop setting inadequate fires in the Arctic snow. I am home, still overcoming. No heat wave in my hometown, just internal inferno upon waking. Just lukewarm phone calls from you. I want to ignite something, but I have only my own spark and no match. The thought of this turns me into a glowing ember. I focus on what I can't control. You, the weather, my erratic body temperature. Every second feels like an entire sunrise, and also like a rising glacier, and also like a death count. To think there was a time when all I needed to feel cool was for you to tell me I'm pretty. But that was before being your side chick became a full-time unpaid position. I gotta work tomorrow. I still don't have time for your bullshit. Or good morning beautiful texts, or changing my soaking wet pillowcase, or changing my sleep-deprived mind. I'm at peace for the moment, meditating on solitude and air conditioning, safe and naked between my sheets and the folds of my own solace and self-love. Everything always eventually passes, including heartbreak and hot flashes.
It took a while to write this piece. I got my PhD from Avoidance University practicing hard defense because people hardly are dedicated anymore. I was associated for a couple of years. I got my undergrad from dismissive community college and somehow mastered detachment. Talk about degrees of separation. How ironic. Commitment issues, but with my dissociation, I was dedicated. I guess I had enough credits to attend graduation, and guess who was the topic of my dissertation? You. I had to find the purpose I got with you, really processing this length of time I stood with you. I thought we were temporary, due to us just wanting to hook up, of course. Feelings got involved. Your feelings got involved, and I used you as a subject. I could string along like a puppet. Your piece I disrupted. You were under my program, although it was corrupted. With every day you spent with me, my lies were your favorite songs, or maybe a lullaby you would sing along to. The key I had to your heart had a jagged edge, and over time, you would always say I was your good luck charm. How? When I would just cause you emotional harm, lie to you, wrap your reality so much that you wanted us to get married. I guess the broken parts within us, you thought you could just glue together and sprinkle holy water on. I'm being difficult. In all honesty, I am complex. The more you want to see a pattern, well, you see a pattern. You chose to ignore the signs. You threw a caution to the wind and it gave you whiplash. You allowed my words to drive you crazy, giving me the green light. So my communication would be abrupt for days, maybe weeks, and you didn't see this coming. I guess it was a blind spot. I didn't allow you to see all of me. Shit. I can't even see all of me. A guarded person, a ward and gatekeeping where the mirrors were due to not wanting to see my reflection. I was happy with the image I showcased for the world to see. This is what I thought love was. Having your heart drip, using your blood, and I turned into Jackson Pollock, throwing shit against the wall to see what will stick. I would work so hard to push you away. I guess my trauma scar I caused was the work of art I would see to this day.
Pain is something like God, sovereign, powerful, unyielding, unflinching, making decisions often without thinking. Pain is something like love, spellbinding, the feel of lips succulently nibbling. Endless prickles and twangs in my thighs, belly, back, uterus. Even my breasts, taut, heightened, hurting. Pain is something like failure. Can't pinpoint the loss. Can't tabulate how many fetuses gone, only knowing they stack up to heaven. one upon the next. Chipped discs of a spine, the crumple black rot in place of pink, smooth, semi-gelatinous cartilage. I need to breathe and settle. Pain is something like getting married. The husband who never leaves your side, the husband who grips and twists your spine, sex which penetrates your inner walls, time after time hammers away at an insolent cervix. Pain is something like punishment. A broken wife, and he breaks things too. The marriage vows like tremors below the city. Shaky, unsustainable. Like my pain, my balance, being upright, standing, unsustainable. Yet I have sustained all of it. Aun. Pain is something like withstanding it all. The word sustains wraps around bones which wear the mask of the devil. Sustain is to love, which filled me with as much as it robbed me of myself, full of the blood of Diego, and we became each other. The pact, ears brimming with his semen. My pain, dragging me under the poisoned hood. I sit in my wheelchair the rest of my life, screaming at the sun.
I got real shit to say. There's no system that can judge it. It's unjudgeable. Unjudgeable may not actually be a word. Most of the judges at slams don't know shit about poetry anyway, and depending on the venue, may be drunk. A lot of what I have to say will piss you off. I like to win. I don't give a damn about the score. I don't care about your sex life, nor your sexual preference. It's not my business. It's not up for discussion. I've been in this spoken word game too long to give a damn what you think. Poetry is not a popularity contest to me. My tolerance for bullshit is limited. I'm allergic to bad poetry. I'm not a therapist. If I were, I'd send a lot of people a bill. My poetry has a real purpose. It's not a pickup line. I'm giving you my opinion, but opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. This poem doesn't require a score. It's unscorable. That might not be a real word either, but this poem isn't competing for a prize.
The windsock in the corner whips back and forth when I wake. It's broken glass when I breathe in. Didn't finish my dinner last night, threw half away, then woke up hungry. Dreams of departures and planes falling from the sky still hang above me. The storm clouds roll backwards in the violence of the morning, so I stay in another day. Trapped in my safe place, listening to the sad stories I know so well, dance with the notes floating through the air. Living in the shadow, eyes become weak, light becomes pain, bodies break down. You write about roadkill and missing me. I am self-obsessed. My words flow from every time I've been traumatized. I find the bottom of this glass and the answer is missing, but I'll keep looking there. What purpose is there in the mass of me? Why must I be so much? Bipolar, they say, like that's supposed to mean something more than more pills to take with food twice daily. What happens if I turn on the miracle? What if I bite the healing hand the day it's all too goddamn much? What am I saying? What sequence of syllables will do the trick? How do I reach you? If I document, is it testimony? If I cry, is it truth? On a scale of 1 to 5, evaluate the following statements. I feel hopeless. My friends and family know I failed. Depression is calling me back to bed. Despair is so close, I can smell her. Everything is my fault. Expect gusts of wind up to 50 miles per hour. Moisture levels below 20% and general fuckery that's hard to measure. Reporting from the bunker, deep within the storm, your favorite nobody, Nemo Sum.
I like men. In fact, I exited my mother's womb with a hankering for that Y chromosome. I also love ginger ale, and my mama told me she drank ginger ale by the gallon when she was pregnant with me. Now, don't think that I'm trying to say that my mama was a hoe. Far from it. My mother was a God-fearing country girl raised with Jesus in her heart and praise in her mouth. No. What I'm trying to say to you is that while there is a direct correlation between my mother's love of ginger ale and my own Canada Dry obsession, the same cannot be said for my appreciation for men. That came from my dad. I was a daddy's girl, inside and out. My father is not a tall man, and yet people call him Big John. He can walk faster than any human I've ever met, and that's why I think I walk so fast. Because deep down, I'm still just a little girl trying to catch up to her daddy. My brain knows that my father loves me, but he never had time for me when I was little. He was too busy trying to make his mark in this world, and I learned early that I wasn't enough to hold his attention. So I went looking for a man to fill up my not enough. I went looking for a man to complete me. I went looking for a man to make me happy. But all I found was the hearts I threw away, lying broken and bleeding on the ground. Men I sacrificed on the altar of my daddy's abandoned love. The victims of my not enough. I destroyed my husband. I broke my daughter's heart. I failed as a mother and a wife. I got fired from my job, drowned in liquor and numbed myself with pot. Spent half a year's salary gaming. I had to fuck people. A lot. They say you have to kiss a lot of frogs to find a prince. I kissed the whole damn pond and still didn't find that fool. Because I wasn't ready. I still didn't understand the truth. I had to destroy myself to realize. And I don't know that I can ever forgive myself for hurting the people that I loved. But at least I have finally learned what the universe needed me to know. That I don't need a man to complete me. That lonely is a state of mind and not the place where I reside. That flying solo is freedom. And that I may live by myself, but I am never alone. It took me half a decade to hear it and to understand what it means. So when you take your makeup off tonight, say it. When you get up in the morning and you look in the mirror, say it. When you brush your teeth, when you wash your hands, when you walk past that mirror in the hall, say it. I am enough. I exited my mother's womb loving men, but I don't need one anymore.
First of all, we don't have to convert you, you crazy wet bitch. You arrived leaking evidence, came in talking about, I'm straight. We know, with your pulse running ahead of you like a snitch with both hands up. Let's get this straight as fuck. Nobody recruited you. No clipboard, no rainbow waiver, no flannel trap under your chair. Just one woman on the mic, same gender as you, mouth close enough to the speaker to make room and forget it had walls. And then she breathed. Not spoke, breathed. And your whole straight life shifted in its seat. Your knees hurt at first, and then your thighs, and then that low, locked room beneath your stomach where you hide everything your mouth keeps denying. She said one line. So low that the air got slick. One line so low that your spine forgot its manners and your pulse stopped taking orders from your mouth. You laughed. It was cute. That laugh was panic with lip gloss on. And listen, femme, we saw you. Saw your hand go to your neck like her voice got fingerprints there, and saw your shoulders drop like surrender finally found the right lighting. Saw your mouth part and then remember it was trained to lie. And she stayed up there, calm, dangerous, reading like a woman who knows softness is only soft until it finds the right place to press. Her voice was velvet, dragged across a match, and honey with heat underneath it. And you kept whispering, I'm straight. But baby, not with that breathing. Not with your skin lighting up like every nerve just got invited behind a closed door, and not with your body trying to act innocent while the whole room heard your confession. That poet's mouth turned the microphone into a mirror, and suddenly you remembered every woman you almost wanted, every glance you swallowed, every compliment that stayed too long on your tongue, and every time you called her beautiful and meant your body was... every time you called her beautiful and your body meant please. So no, you don't have to be converted. Your body already packed a bag. Your label is still arguing in the lobby, but your breath already crossed over. Say it was art. Say it was atmosphere. Say it was the lighting, the mic, the way she read. Say whatever helps you get home with your straight story buttoned crooked over your chest. But later, when that voice comes back and drags one slow finger down the inside of your memory, don't lie. Don't call it confusion. Call it what it was. A woman's mouth finding the door, and your whole life has... A woman's mouth finding the door your whole life kept locked, and your body, traitor, saint, hungry little prophet, opening like it had been waiting for a woman to say its name in just the right way.
The series that you saved to watch during your flight was more cracker than soup. Not enough for your attention to make a meal of, so you idly close and open the apps on your phone, which has been castrated by airplane mode. And you can't afford the shitty onboard Wi-Fi, so you barely have half your apps working, and it's the wrong half, somehow. You are in the worst part of any flight, the third quarter stretch of a flight more than 5 hours. It feels too late in the flight to sleep, and you have grown accustomed to the noise by now. It all forms a pleasant sort of hum that feels like a hug. A physical wall of sound wrapping around you, the unique noises all blending and blurring and bending. You've stopped registering the baby fussing in the front or the woman with the cruel laugh seated behind you. The kind of laugh that makes you self-conscious. One that does not so much ring with joy but clamor like a siren. The kind of laugh that feels wielded instead of won. It barely registers now. It feels as far away as the last time you were laughed at on the playground. Since the last time you were the butt of the joke, when they lit you on fire, turned you to insubstantial ash and cloying smoke, turned you into a cloud that other people are always waving away, and discarded you carelessly on the ground for someone else to pick up. You haven't thought of that in ages. But the woman in 18B laughs in a way that travels through time, that makes you understand why people say hyenas laugh. It is a primal noise, barking and predatory. So it is too late to sleep, even though you are no longer being kept awake by that cruel laugh. But you are not yet close enough to your destination to fully wake up, to remember the point of this journey you are on, to take responsibility back for your own destiny. There's something about being chauffeured around the sky that makes you feel a bit like an upper middle class adolescent in the back of your mom's SUV as she ferries you around to a full day of activities. You are somehow both prisoner with no control and louche emperor demanding snacks. Soon you will grow up. You will be sent into the wide world to confront the brutal reality of customs lines and brokered baggage carousels and the ever-inflating taxi fares, to drown in the tedium of travel where capitalism has somehow sucked the magic from flight itself. Only capitalism could create something so maddeningly mundane from a miracle. I am in the sky. I am tetherless. I am ethereal. I am holy. I am outside time and space. There is no responsibility here. I cannot be touched. I cannot be reached. I am outside of existence. Why did you not respond to my email? Because I was in the sky, busy communing with the clouds. I was made an angelic being. Emails are for earth dwellers. I'm a bird now. The view from the tiny windows bisecting the cabin is breathtaking, particularly when you are above the clouds. As close to the sun as you will ever be, but it's almost too breathtaking. Viewed solely through those tiny pothole windows, it feels fake, as if you're just on a movie set or sharing a collective delusion, as if you're still safe on the ground in a hangar somewhere with painted backdrops of clouds held up to those tiny windows and an industrial fan setting the scene. Maybe this is to avoid the pants-shitting terror of being so high up. Higher than the human body was ever meant to go. Maybe it doesn't feel real because if it did, it would break our dumb ape wiring. Maybe we're not meant to live like this. Maybe this is a crime against nature. Maybe this is another tired Icarus metaphor. Maybe that's why we're all so fucked up. We go faster and higher than we were ever meant to be, but it's too late. We're up here now. We're in the third quarter of a flight at least 5 hours long, and we simply have to wait to land. So we wait, hushed, anticipatory, anxious, bored. We start to wonder if this trip will ever end, if we have taken off forever, a one-way trip to nowhere. This plane is our home now. We found a flying kingdom, outside borders, above the law, Lord of the Flyers. Please don't make me be piggy. Every passenger for themselves. You'd think we'd rise up against the airlines who have stripped every creature comfort in the name of capitalism, who have pinched our asses into tiny seats as they pinch their pennies, slowly making human decency a feature only available with an upgrade to first class, which they can afford to fly. Of course, these giants of greed, these titans of travels, these captains of capital. Still, they cannot buy their way out of the third quarter ennui of a flight more than 5 hours long. We all suffer that together. They just paid more to do it. And there are more of us in coach here, more of us squished into this clown car than those wizards of audacity behind the first class curtain. I'm not sure if that curtain is to hide us from them so that they need not look upon our sad existence, or for us so we need not watch them revel in these scant creature comforts that we are denied. Maybe it's mutually beneficial because they find us more pliable if we are less aware of the inequities afoot, less likely to rise up. Perhaps the first class curtain is like blinders on a racehorse, so we don't claim our collective horsepower, stage a coup, so we don't don the once complimentary blankets now reserved for first class as capes or raise them as pirate flags and mutiny, but no, we just take it. Because being so far up, we have so far to fall. Better to toe the line, lick the boot, than feel the terrifying freedom of falling. In the third quarter of a flight, at least 5 hours, minutes do not pass. They lope, lopping and lollygagging, levitating. The third quarter of a flight, at least 5 hours, feels like a form of hibernation, which would make the third quarter of a flight of at least 5 hours a winter of sorts. A winter of collective discontent. I had to put that reference to use. It's been rattling around in my brain for years, and this seems like a good place for it. I'd like to tell you that I know it from Shakespeare, or at least Steinbeck, but the version I remember is Ethan Hawke's outgoing voicemail message from Reality Bites, which is a movie from the 90s, kids. But in the third quarter of a flight of at least 5 hours, is winter, discontent, or otherwise, that means it will inevitably end. All seasons do eventually. But no, end is the wrong word. Seasons evolve, slipping in and out of each other slowly, always cycling, which means that soon spring will arrive, heralded by the popping of your ears as you enter the final phase of your flight, as you start to sink back to the ground from whence you came. Spring, when potential blooms, our stiff arms and legs unfurling like buds on the board's skeletal branches of single-file aisles. But that's another poem, isn't it? There is always another poem. There is always another flight. If you can afford it, I guess.
How do you like it? Slow and steady? Hot and ready? Shh. Don't say nothing. Don't put words in my mouth while she says she wants me, so I put it in her mouth like Akinelli. It's time to eat. Amazing Grace. Having her dripping, pussy throbbing like Kanye's 808. Welcome to heartbreak. Well, that was the worst case scenario. Ain't that some shit? I said I'll make your heart race, but I'm not a cardiologist. I'll put my dick down her esophagus until I will lose consciousness. I almost lost it. She said she was a singer, so I was testing out her octaves until I would activate her chakras. Now we're in alignment. She told me she was feeling creative like the throat chakra. She understood the assignment. She threw me a lifesaver, floating her furious waters, thunder thighs with bright skies, and now a thunderstorm. The way her moans enlightened me to all the things I didn't know before. We taught each other. I learned how to swim. Of course, I had my floaty on because the dating game is like a cesspool at times. We began to explore each other's maps, going different directions. I found my ways. I made my way back, no traffic, but a lot of bumpers still got bumped. She took back shots. I left my mark on her like a signature. We created recipes like Bam, Bam. Emeril Lagasse will be proud. Gordon Ramsay will be proud. I didn't hit raw English accent. She felt every inch of my passion. I played with her clit like the acoustic version of Thug's Mansion. Played with her heartstrings, hitting all the notes she didn't. She said, ain't no place she'd rather be. And it was paradise. She had plenty of milk to deal with all the spice of the night. What a time. A time was had. I don't need a lie. Seek you shall find. Our bond took time. We practiced patience. The costumes and cadence had me feeling a type of way. But she rode the wave. She was a squatter, but somehow I made my way in. And I never left. Tongue was working with my voice as I talked you through it. Walking you through it. With each step, each stroke, deeper and deeper. Our heart beats between breaths. A plethora of ways I could say this. She whispered in my ear to keep going. Like no other girl was cut from her cloth, even if she seemed stressed. Even if she seemed stressed, she takes pain well. She was using her lips and hips. You had a rhythm and rhyme, had me flip into another mode. I was about to bust a rhyme. Baby, if you give it to me, I give it to you. I know what you want. We were working in unison, having our bodies moving, separated so long and coming together. Made it for a great reunion. Life of a champion. She moaned, yes, you're right. I gave her a night of fire dick. She made a copy of her house keys for me. She said I could come over anytime. And later, she was grateful for the mic, clearing the smoke. I fucked the mental haze out her mind. What that mouth do? That's a topic for a whole conversation. Our tongues working. I saw planets. She saw constellations. The love she was showing my basketball, I could have sworn she was Sanaya Lathan.
I small wheatgrass juice for breakfast. That was my third eye to the most eye, telling me not to use my stomach as a cemetery for dead animals. A party with 40s of carrot juice, ginger and beets, helps my tantric love last. I smoke blunts of poetry, shifts my paradigm, helps me rhyme on time in time. If there is time, I question it, but then I question everything. It's this telepathy, perhaps you've heard of me. I communicate with trees. They tell me gossip, their roots run deep to the center of the universe. I open chakras too. I use my didgeridoo for cultural healing when I play for you. These similes and metaphors open the doors to your mind that was shut. That's why we're in such a rut. But I channel knowledge from the kingdom of King Tut. I was a citizen of Atlantis in a past life. That's why I swim through this illusion that you think of as life. It's one of pain and strife. For you'll be in prison for eternity until your mind breaks free. And you can really see things can change when you question authority. Like the elimination of reincarnation in 325 AD. I have no use for a compass. I read the earth's blueprint. Don't believe it on the land of paying landlords rent. I always give praise to the 7 directions. I know that the soul is an act of perfection. We're all made in the image of God, but God has no body, so I study the travel of the soul that never grows old. At least that's the way that he should think of as old. For soul is eternal, never ending. The kingdom of heaven is within. There are spirits singing unseen. Spirits known and unknown singing. Life is full of riddles that only the dead can answer. If you listen, you can hear them in the echoes of the wind, chanting siren sounds to the place that time began. There goes that word again. I believe in all things, as opposed to those who believe in nothing. I am the center of the crossroads that all souls travel. The traverse pointed, the cosmos protected. I live in all worlds, exist in all things. Place your palms to mine, retrieve your memory. There's a TV screen in the third eye, viewing the Akashic records from the Most High. Trace your roots and return to the light.
I tried to look composed. She walked in soft enough to make my spine confess. She said, "Don't ask to be opened unless you still own the door." And I said, "Careful." She smiled. And this is called Make Me Use My Safe Word. Will you make me use my safe word? I don't think you should say that unless your whole voice is ready to be touched without being rushed. My voice has been acting tough all night, though. No, baby, your voice has been pacing behind your teeth like a match, begging for skin. You should be careful. I am careful. That's why you're still leaning in. Your whisper is dangerous, and you stand there like a locked door with heat under it all. Don't touch me with your pulse saying closer. I didn't say closer. Not with words, you didn't. Damn. Exactly. Make me use my safe word. No, I'm not here to prove I can take you apart. That would be easy. I'm here to make you feel how badly you want to open and still know you own every inch of the door. I know the difference between trembling and yes, between hunger and harm, between a door opening and a door breaking. Fuck. There's the poem. No, the poem is you shaping silence with that voice like smoke sliding under a locked room, like velvet dragging slow across a blade. And you're trying to look composed while your body keeps spelling yes in the heat. I think you should come closer. I think you should ask better. Please. Better. Please. Like you know I want the edge but still deserve a hand on the brake. Now we have consent with a pulse. Now we have a problem. No, we have control. Control sounds boring, though. Not when I say it this close to your mouth. I think you should say it again. Control. Fuck. Good. Don't say good unless you're ready for consequences. Baby, I am the consequence. Then come here like you know I'm not a dare to overpower. I'm not prey and I'm not proof. I'm a door that opens when respected. So I respect the lock, the hinge, and the threshold. You make boundaries sound filthy, but they are. A boundary is silk over a blade, a no that keeps yes from becoming a cage. A safe word is not the end of the spell. It's just the switch that keeps the dark from eating the room. And if I say the word, then everything stops. My hands, my mouth, the heat, the game, the whole velvet storm, all of it. And you won't be mad. Mad. I'll be proud that you trusted with the sharp thing and still believed I would set it down. And I guess that's the erotic part. Not taking me, waiting until I open, letting the silence get hungry and not punishing it for wanting. Red. Stopped. Yellow. Slower. Green. Chosen. I think you should say that again. Chosen. Make me use my safe word. No, baby, I'll make you use your power, the voice under the voice. The one with teeth, the one your shame kept on a leash. Bring her here. Let her breathe. I'm not here to make you quiet. I'm here to make the silence beg for mercy. Say red, and I'll stop. Say yellow, and I'll slow. Say green, and baby, green means I choose this. Green means I'm still mine. Green means come closer, but don't forget who opened the door. A woman's wanting is not an invitation to conquer her. It's hunger with a crown on, a locked room with velvet walls, and only she gets to decide who survives the door. So when you finally say yes, I won't be calling it dirty. I won't call it mine. I'll just call it yours. And baby, this is the part that makes the whole room forget how to breathe.
The house, my grandma said, the house has to smell a certain way. Bathrooms of lavender and bleach, front room linen fresh air and roses. Ladies' bedroom, lilac water and talcum, and the kitchen needs to smell of love and hard work. Sweet tea and the cornbread mix for supper. Baked ham on Sundays. Ginger, nutmeg, pumpkin spice for to mark the holidays. I loved Granny's house. It was warm and smelled good. We'd sit on the burnt white front porch after laundry times or baking days, talking this and that, singing sometimes. The tree, cottonwood or some such, whispering with wind secrets and bird song, cool and Lord knows how old. Leafy green and branches for swinging or climbing, or sometimes a good cut me switch if Granny caught you mouthing wrong or acting out. One laundry morning, Granny and me on the porch, listening to the breeze make soft and sweet games with the flowers around. Granny sat quiet, eyes far away. I thought she was resting or fixing to start telling me the best way for biscuits to rise or how to fold and place a sachet, but she just kept quiet, eyes far away. And when I got impatient, commencing to dabble my toes in the air, scheming on asking for lemonade or some such, I don't remember. Granny sat quiet, eyes fixed further away than I had ever seen. I didn't know the voice she finally said in. Had never heard that much pain or anger in her throat, never heard her tears pent up and soaking every bone till they turned hard as marble, couldn't be moved or lifted. Granny said, I hate that tree. Hated it all my life, but I'll never cut it down. I can't ever cut it down. My mama, your my mama, she tended us, tended house. Did some laundering for white folks in town. She was quiet, mostly. Weren't a fancy, doll pretty woman, but people fancied her smile and her ways. She was real smart, too. Taught us all stars and singing and some books and the Bible. Loved to hear her children laugh and read. Mama came home one day, weren't smiling, just quiet. Seemed to draw a long, determined breath, then sat here, right where I am now, and told me like chains were wrapped around her heart and pulling her down into dead. She said, I slapped Maz Johnson in the street today. He had his hands on Sadie from the grocery. twisting, bending her arms just to make her hurt. No good reason, just to make his friends laugh. And when he saw me watching, he threw her down, spit like she was cheap gin or some kind of dirt wasn't even good enough to farm in. Watched him come for me. Let him get close. I could have run. Didn't feel to. I just stood there. And when he reached for me, I slapped him hard. Like when I'm cleaning the parlor rugs, hard and loud. It left a mark. I saw it blood red against that burnt ghost white skin. I could have run or begged or cried or something. Maybe should have, but I just stood there. Not shaking, not swaying, fit to faint. It was all quiet. Him and his no crown friends were all quiet. Sadie was laid, loud sobbing in the dirt. I got her to her feet, told her I'd mend her dress. Told her to take a bath in some of that rose scent water I brought last week. Maz Johnson, he just stood and watched me. All quiet, him and his no-count burnt ghost friends. Then he said, well, we'll be by your place tonight. Guess I was supposed to cry or beg or something. Run or something. I couldn't. Didn't feel to. I just said, I got laundry on the line, turned my back and walked home. My grandma said, when your great-grand came home, she sat for a minute, staring far off, just quiet, then raised up saying, I got laundry on the line. Set a hard broom to the parlor and hallways, made her bed and sashayed the bureau drawers, scrubbed the bathrooms bleach and sunshine clean, then baked and roasted, stirred and boiled and poured lemonade, Sunday ham, dropped biscuits, molasses cake, the big stew pot full of greens, celery, onion, potato salad. And when every room smelled exactly right, when the house smelled proper, as it should, she bid us all to Aunt Julie's, told us to hasten and hold hands, and she'd send Sadie for to fetch us. Said not to tarry, to make sure we weren't around and evident when it got dark. Used a voice I had never heard before, like rusted iron and dagger glass was running in her veins. Turns out they hung my mama from that tree. Came late when the wind was playing up, came late when a cold moon was splitting the thick branches, set her body up high, left her burnt black and twisted. Hung her knowing no account would be required because she was just some Negro woman, didn't know her place. Law took no real notice of such things back then. Hung her and rode off, hooting and laughing most likely, thinking themselves brave and fearless or some such, knowing they had upheld the code, revenged their honor or some such. Your great-grand, they laid her out nice. Her best dress and a fancy hat. Folks sang real pretty at the church. Ate food in the hard-broomed front parlor. Went home. Life went on. The story passed down. I went off to work and school. The house came down to me. Granny stood, looked at me straight, like rust iron and broken diamond ran in her veins. You'll do the same as me. Go off to work and school. House will come down to you. Make sure you keep it proper. I live here now. The hard room, the front parlor and hallways. Make sure the bathrooms smell of bleach and lavender. My bedroom fragrances of violets and talcum powder. And the kitchen smells of love and hard work. Sweet tea and the cornbread mixed for supper. Baked ham on Sundays. Ginger, nutmeg, pumpkin spice for to call the holidays. The tree of cottonwood or some such. Whispering with wind secrets and bird music, cool and Lord knows how old. Leaf green and branches for climbing or sometimes a good cut me switch. Sometimes late the wind plays up. Sometimes late an ice cold moon splits the thick, crooked fired black branches. I hate that tree. Since my grandma told, but I won't cut it down. I hate that tree forever. But I will never cut it down. I can't ever cut it down.
Let's discuss control. Do you want it? Do I not? Should I keep it? Should I share it? Should I give you a shot? I have control issues. I have to be in control until someone more worthy can take it from me. But there's a time when I've had too much, when that yoke is too heavy. I want to just give it away. Let you run with it. Let you take it. Let you roll. Could I give it? Will I allow it? Can you take it? Which is to say, my control is a gift that only I can gift when you have given me the assurances I need that my gift is a gift to your heart and your mind. And once I commit, I will never give you short shrift on this thing that we are creating between us. So what I'm saying is this: can you take it when I give it and you finally have it? Are you prepared to wield it like Charlemagne? Slay me with magic steel. Make me feel in ways I need to feel. Allow me to reveal the needs I can share with you. Can you handle me? Or will you fall to your knees when you receive my buzz? Because I am power. Can you maintain it? Can you hold this sweet energy that I have lent? Will you dance along the boundaries of my consent? Caress my limits and cradle me in your arms after we get delightfully bent. And when deep trust has been created, so strong that it never be questioned or fray, will you push me to evolve past myself? Watch me birth myself into a chrysalis from my darkest place. The dynamics of give and take are a complicated conversation. I don't want to rush it. It needs to be an inspiration to grow, to evolve, to become something more, to leave our vanilla world persona at the door. Behind the door, what happens is a secret between you and me. It involves control. Which one of us wields it is what you and I have yet to see.
This is not a trauma poem. This poem is not about trauma. It's not about what it takes to keep going after the impact in those first few moments of everything's changed. It's not about walking down hospital hallways that look like hallways where hearts are breaking. Not about having to count numbers out loud to hold back the panic when you're lying in the machine. No. This poem is not about trauma. It's not about a phone call from a stranger with news that takes your knees out. It's not about trying to talk through tears, getting out the goodbyes. Not about parents who abandon their children because sometimes biological imperatives don't work. No. This poem is not about trauma. It's not about the ripping or the tearing or the hurt. Not the crying or the dying or the dirt. not shaking or quaking or lying or loss. No. This poem is not about a boy sitting outside his school building under a gray Texas winter sky, waiting to be picked up by a father who isn't coming ever again. And the man this boy has become still cannot understand why his dad didn't come for him that day or any day. No, this poem is not about trauma, not needles or exit bags or exit wounds or scars or pissing blood. No. This poem is about still being here. It's about getting through it and standing back up when the trauma poems are the best we can do.
Why husbands? Why gluten-free? Why anything I do? I do not do any of these deeds for me. Who do I listen to? Why not the husband? He knows so little. We are like oil and water. Cadaverous CPAP snoring double-bed Catholics. It's man cave hatred which roars in my middle-aged slop, my between you and me detox head. Between the legs and hips, a rock and gentle sway, a shining, impossibly valuable diamond, all rosé. No one allowed, no one has touched. I love you, sugar. I love you so much. Want to take it out? See it faceted and will blind us halfway down the rail track. The mine. Canary comes out soot and fine powder keg yellow. Feathers like the feminine sun and a million miners. Black lung husbands are screaming like the world is caving in completely on top of them. And they are dispositioned for reasons they'll later learn. They are soon way behind her. So soon.
The headache is the weight, not just stress, but generations of grief, balanced carefully behind the eyes like you were taught suffering should be carried quietly. It is every night you forced yourself to stay strong because breaking down would have broken everyone else too. Every memory replaying itself like a cruel hymn in the cathedral of your skull. Every I'm okay stitched shut over wounds that never stop bleeding underneath. The stomach is the silence. A pit filled with swallowed apologies, bitten tongues, and all the love you poured into people who only knew how to leave you empty. It twisted itself into knots because your body learned how to digest disappointment before it ever learned peace. You call it anxiety, but maybe it is mourning. Maybe your organs are exhausted from carrying heartbreak. Your mouth was too afraid to name, and the legs are every step taken in survival. Every hallway walked through trembling. Every city entered hoping reinvention could save you. Every road that demanded pieces of you just for the privilege of continuing forward. The leg is the miles between who you are and who pain forced you to become. It is standing in kitchens, counting pennies for dinner, standing in showers heated by boiling pots of water because dignity had to be homemade, standing in rooms full of people and still feeling abandoned enough to disappear inside yourself. Your body keeps score of every war you pretended didn't hurt. The shoulders remember all the people you carried who never once asked if your back was breaking. The hands remember working themselves raw, trying to build safety out of scraps and second chances. The chest remembers how many times love arrived wearing the face of rescue only to become another disaster you had to survive. And your heart, God, your heart still beats like a child waiting at the window for tenderness that never stayed long enough. People will tell you to rest, as if exhaustion is only physical. But how do you sleep when your soul has been awake for years? How do you loosen fits that How do you loosen fists that learn too early the world only respects you when you endure it silently? Your pain is never random. Your body has never been writing poetry in bruises, letters in margins, confessions in trembling bones. It was begging you to notice that survival and living are not the same thing, because sometimes the body becomes the graveyard for every feeling the heart was never given permission to bury.
55 years ago today, May 12th, 1971, I, as a 16-year-old child, birthed a beautiful child. I wasn't a bad child. I wasn't a troubled youth. I loved to sing in church and school. Actually, a good student. In retrospect, inquisitive and void of any connection to my own body. A childhood lacking of any touch or love. Eventually drove me to seek comfort from one who cared nothing for me. Even my birthdays became synonymous with annual school shopping, weight of joy or celebration. Disdain, disgust, and distrust were the hallmarks of my childhood. For one brief, unfulfilling, uncomfortable moment, my first, without passion and with discomfort, a high price was paid. I was unceremoniously with child. I knew that I had choices. At 16, I happened to choose motherhood. I didn't scream or even cry with the birthing pains. A reluctant mother, present in the birthing room, but definitely not present for me. Naively, I silently stretched out my hand to her as the birthing pain became unbearable. You could hear a pin drop. Not one single word of comfort or concern uttered. She recoiled, never said a word, and looked beyond me. Her actions reminded me who she was. I retreated within myself, alone as always, wrote out the searing birthing pains, and quietly bore a son. I loved him from that day forward. Made promises to be better, do better than what was done to me. I lived for and unconditionally loved. Set the best possible example. Set a course for personal greatness that could be emulated. Earned 3 college degrees, 2 with honors, and attended a prestigious university as a doctoral student. Showed and spoke love daily. Made home a comfort. Made love known out loud. Made physical touch a must. Encouraged and supported always. Despite disappointments, provided cultural and ethnic pride, along with spiritual practices and guidance. Promoted academic excellence through the Black Panther Oakland Community School and beyond. Before he was 3, my son could read. In his private middle school, he was successful in the pseudo stock market daily. I studied child development to be a good parenting steward and found an amazing career. Yes, missteps occurred and corrected. Intent on creating a legacy not born of poverty, disorder, verbal abuse, violence, and unwarranted volatile vengeance for mere childish infractions. Brought my child into the the Black Panther Collective for mentors, models, and a principled mission. Something that I commit, I'm sorry, something that I could commit to that would commit to me and support my little family. I work for a better future for us all. A mature act of compromise and compassion by one young and unprepared for solo parenting. I held nothing back, left no stone unturned. My job was to love, protect, and defend. Denied myself anything that would detract from my responsibility. I did whatever necessary by any means possible. Sadly, in the end, there is no victory or value for my parenting integrity. Surprised? So am I. In this 55th year of parenting, elderly, ill, and disabled, I'm disrespected and discarded, which literally destroys me. No response to my tears or my request to know that they even care for me. This is overwhelming and mentally exhausting. Treat my own elderly mother better with respect and concern, though clearly my value to her was doubtful. Sadly, my mother always predicted this outcome. Said I should teach him to fear me. If that's the price, I don't want it. I don't need it. 55 years ago, I birthed a son. When I knew better, I did better. Now a mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. I'm primarily alone, and the pain may be greater than I can bear. Actually embarrassed to say, not one call from those I birthed this Mother's Day. Lord have mercy. Release me, please. I'm ready to leave this life of pain, strife. According to the prophet Gibran, life goes not backwards or tarries with yesterday. Now I'm a broken bow in the archer's hand with a shattered heart. It is this ultimate peace. I'm sorry. Is this the ultimate price for unconditional loving? Someone tell me, please. I can't breathe.
I wasn't really big on building things as a kid. Legos were cool for a hot moment, but there was always the inevitable destruction of the mini cities I created. I'm tired of witnessing destruction. I want to construct, not destruct. I was given a couple of car models for Christmas once, but I never got into making them. The concept of was extremely complicated as a youth, and nobody was willing to help me out. It discouraged me from building in general, which later bled into how I wasn't building myself up properly. Then therapy and guided meditation helps unlock the architect in me. There's something about the permanence of attaching things together with craft adhesive that has me struck on the idea that the best love there is when you're able to fit together a bunch of oddball pieces to create something sturdy, purposeful, beautiful, everlasting. Self-love is crucial in knowing what pieces fit and what pieces don't, because you be putting in the work, piecing yourself together more concretely as life chisels out your marble, defining yourself through the trials and tribulations, calmly walking through the baptism of fire of everyday life, bearing wisdom in your stride, constantly in a state of learning and overcoming. To be able to properly love another, one must be able to know and love thyself first. Love should never be a selfish endeavor. If I am ever going to be loving, it's unconditionally and genuinely. I never was into building things as a kid. I'm glued to the idea of being able to build something with you that will stand the test of time. I mean, let love be the glue that binds us. Let us set ourselves in the glue. Let's stand tall and true, boo. You got me on a George Harrison mindset because I got my mind set on you, super glued to the grooves that were molded just right, as if it was just made that way by design. I don't ever want to resign on the goal in mind, you and I experiencing life so divine, to be able to build an empire together, step by step, brick by brick, victory by victory, cherished moment by cherished moments. The coolest thing about building this model is that there's no final set. The idea is that we keep building from a solid foundation and push the limits of our imagination while being grounded in the simple truth of trust. We are co-architects. Let's design and create this reality to our liking.
We shapeshift and incubate life, bear the burden of motherhood, and assume servitude to all humanity. But men hate us anyway. Blame us for our own demise, beat resentment into our bodies, then cover us up like we are walking transgressions they are unable to face. Yet we seek their love, still involuntarily smile on demand, still are polite in the face of potential violence, hoping to walk away intact, knowing full well the danger of turning our back. Let me offer you a glass of water and temporary compliance, and hope it distracts you long enough for my escape. We are afraid, do you know? Does our terror feed you when you loom large overhead? Do you delight in our inability to control our tremors? Does your power to kill me occur to you often, or only when I'm on your mind? It's horrifying how angry our fear of your anger makes you. Apologies for my unwillingness to casually risk my life to be alone with you. I will immediately block your number once I am on the train, and pray I never encounter you again, at least until I cut and dye my hair next week, and never at night or on the street where I live, or near my job or at my car at the far end of the parking lot. And always let me be stoic, mute the sound of my horror-struck heart. We are both of us human, both blood and bones on the inside, upon which we wear skin and clothes and consciousness. My first mind is to question this utter contempt, find and demolish its origin, till and water its hard ground, plant something hopeful there and see what grows. But this animosity is intentionally cultivated, protected by a worldwide multitude of enraged masculinity, who justify actionable malice, who celebrate feminine humiliation, who have a place for us where they would like us to remain. Please be careful, women. They are stripping rights, making laws against us, killing love and its offspring. We must become our own weapons of defense, fight like cornered animals with claws and teeth, for they are on their inevitable way, armed with fists and daggers and guns, ready and eager to go to war, and they are not coming to save us. Do the thing that scares you, that which freezes your heartbeats and makes you deflect violently in hot spaces. That is the pocket in which you will find your life. Reach in and grasp it tightly, though there may be slime and it feels repulsive. Fight through your fright of defeat and other distasteful things. Make no habit of hiding behind the elephant in the room, or beneath the facade of arrogance and expertise weighing you down. You may look and feel naked and dangerously exposed. Your prize is on the other side of darkness and insecurity. Leap, though the net is not apparent. It will find you. You will land safely in your destiny. The trust fall will be worth the treasure and future replication. There is a lot to be said for breathing. Blinding sunshine, unexpected miracles, and tacos, and glowing friendships, whether old or new, no matter the flavor or hue they are built upon. Affinity is nutritious food. Solace and understanding are cool water. This life is abrupt, endless and wonderfully exhausting, smooth and also rocky steep, hot and motivational with challenges galore. And of course, you can make the journey by yourself. But why not hold a hand whilst climbing? Why not pleasantly converse on the way to mutual dream destinations? Why not take a selfie together as we burn shit to the ground? Because none of this comes with us. Not a tear or a seed or a fat bank account. Only your thoughts and this love and other intangible belongings. So let's get it. All the hugs and love and ice cream. Every smile and blue sky and sing-along. Get it all. Leave no crumbs. I am convinced that once we've lived all the human life we can, We are reincarnated as some wealthy person's pampered cat. If I die first, and you happen to recall how we ever figured out breaking and entering when we were making plans to eat the rich, look for me, napping in a ray of sunshine, next to an elaborate garden by a fancy house. I will be dreaming of you and remembering that one time that we did everything.